And of course, we're talking about the COVID crisis here. Devo, you're looking for some feedback today. How is Canada doing?
Yeah, thanks so much, Melissa. And yeah, we do want to know, how do you feel Canada's been doing this during this time? It's 1-866-267-3797 for the phone number. And of course, feedback at breakfasttelevision.ca is the email address. And we're kind of comparing it to our neighbors. So it's all relative, depending on where you are in the country. So we'll start with a phone call from Toronto. It's Sharon calling this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Glad to hear it. And how do you feel Canada overall has been doing during this pandemic?
Well, I think that we're a lot more conscious of our neighbors and a lot more nicer than the Americans. And, you know, we're making sure with putting stuff in place that we're starting to wear our masks and being a lot smarter, because this is not going away unless we do our part.
Yeah, no, you're so right. And do you think, you know, when we see, because it is right next door, it's just on the other side of these borders, and we're seeing some of the mistakes being made there, do you think, you know, us as a society, not just in our government officials and things like that, but you and your neighbors are definitely changing their habits?
Well, I was always wearing my mask. I'm making sure that I'm keeping myself protected as well as my family members. You know, I stayed away and I make sure that I do all the right stuff to make sure that everybody's going to be safe around me.
Yeah, and
if I come in contact with people, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to distance.
Yeah, and that's it. And with stage 3 kind of happening across the country, how did that change some of your behaviors, or did it?
Well, I'm still waiting for the verdict. I've done outdoor patios, but still not 100% sure about, you know, indoor eating or gym or things like that. I'm going to wait to see how the things transpire. But going back to work, we all need the money.
This is true. And, you know, when you went on the patio for the first time, I know for me, I was a little bit hesitant still. I wasn't 100% confident or comfortable. Was that the same for you?
I felt comfortable on the patio. I
Yeah.
mean, everything in the station is you're outdoors, and we gotta still enjoy our life. So, you know, it's summertime, my favorite time. So I was looking forward to having the patio and seeing people that I hadn't seen.
I'm with you on that. You know, a friend of mine, we always kind of joke around. I would, you know, have this friend who works within the university health network, and we were chatting yesterday, and one of the lines I always joke with my friends when they're kind of, you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, can I live? That's one of our lines that we all say to each other within our friend group as a joke, and that's what it was right now. He's like, you know, we all got to be super careful, but we do need to enjoy that for our mental health more than anything else, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll go bonkers just staying inside.
Yeah, it's so true. Sharon, thank you so much. Love to you and your family. Appreciate the call this morning.
Thank you, and you stay safe.
Thank you. You as well. Thanks. All right, we're going to check an email right now. This comes from Nikki, and Nikki is, well, she's sick of keeping it short and sweet. Nikki says, we are a country I am so proud to live in. We locked down early and for long enough. Another email coming through, this one from Debbie. Debbie says, overall, I think Canada has done a better job of managing COVID cases as compared to the States, because we were slower and measured in the way we did open. And New Brunswick, especially, has the fewest cases in the country. But I'd like to see how Canada managed cases if we get a second wave. Yeah, that's what the fear is that second wave. That's what people are worried about right now. So we do gotta kind of stay vigilant in what we're doing. David says, I just returned to Canada from volunteering in East Africa. Thank you for volunteering, man. That's awesome. Finally, after 2 months, I got a flight to Amsterdam, and then returning to Canada at this time was such an amazing experience. This country has done so well, especially in comparison with the U.S. Those numbers in the U.S. are totally unacceptable. So proud to be Canadian. Thank you, Canada, for taking this virus so seriously. And you know, it's great that, you know, and that's that experience that David had of traveling and being somewhere else during this time. You really gives you perspective of what we're doing here. And we got another call right now. John from Barrie calling us this morning. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Devo. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks, man. Yourself?
Excellent, doing great. I think overall Canada has done a great job. They've done the stages the way it should be done, and most majority of the people have wore their masks and took precautions with hand sanitizers and washing their hands. But the only thing I have an issue with would be going back to school. I think they're not ready to open up the school wide they should lower those, especially the higher the grades and the lower grades where they're not wearing masks. They should separate them and make them smaller groups. And even the teenagers from 9 up, you know, there's a lot of in my Sunday class, for instance, like 30 people, and he's going into grade 10. So you know, they have to wear their mask in the hallway. But as far as I understand, when they go in the classroom, they can take them off.
Yeah, and you said so your son 10th grade is about 14, 15 years old, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you're going to be in a classroom with 30 people. You know, there's no more extra space. That's the other thing. You're already jamming the kids into these classrooms already. That the space is small. So
that's why I'm hesitant to even send them.
Yeah. And what would your decision be if you had the option to whether you could send them or not, whether he works online again? What would you
keep
prefer?
them home, homeschool them.
Mm-hmm. And you gave some good suggestions there as well by trying to bring those class sizes down. And,
and maybe they can, you know, they got a gymnasium, they got cafeteria, they can open them up.
And that's the thing. We say that now because we see what's happening. It's summertime, right? We get that outdoor space. We get the weather is okay. You can have the windows open. Well, what happens in November and December?
Exactly.
And in prime
when
flu
the second
season,
wave coming,
right?
You know, we need to start stockpiling now and put things away for the second wave if it hits when the flu season starts.
Yeah, no, you're right. John, thanks so much, man, and try and enjoy some of this summer as well. You too. Take care. Thanks, man. You as well. All right, let's get to this email from Jill as well. And she says, how's Canada doing in comparison with the U.S.? There is no comparison. The States is a complete mess. They have been unable to handle this from day one. There is no united there. The governors are disagreeing with each other and with their president. They don't have the healthcare structure to deal with it. I don't trust them to give us the correct numbers. What I would love to know is how Norway and Sweden are doing, who did not close everything down. Now, we did have some of our team do a little bit of research here. Norway has had to hold reopening as COVID cases have started to rise again. Recently, cruises had to halt as a result of an outbreak, and Sweden is still backing up their approach as well. And what Joe's referring to is that, you know, they had governments that said, nope, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and continue to live the way we live. And the numbers were high at first, and then they did come down a little bit. Well, now we're seeing that spike happen once again. An email from DS. DS says, why do we generally keep comparing ourselves to the U.S.? Gives Canadians a false sense of success on so many issues, including environmental, racism, social services, and the current pandemic. Let's set the comparison benchmark higher. How about with countries that inspire us? That is a great point right there, DS. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for your emails, your calls as well. And thank you for joining us this morning. We will be back with more BT Canada in just minutes.